Hi, Big Tractor Power fans. This video comes to you from a cornfield located in northwest Iowa on a farm that raises organic corn, which means that they do not use herbicides to control the weed growth. They're using a 340 engine horsepower John Deere 8RX 340 track tractor to row crop cultivate the corn to eliminate weeds that have begun to sprout up with the newly growing crop. They're utilizing a 60-foot wide John Deere 856 24-row 30-inch spaced custom-built row crop cultivator. In this presentation, I would like to take you out to the field so that you can learn about the cultivating action as well as riding in the cab of the tractor to visit with the operator to see his perspective of running this large machinery. I'll also share the production history, specifications, and list price tag of the tractor. But first, let's head out to the field so that you can see and hear this big row crop cultivating team at work. Here we can see why they're cultivating. There's a lot of grass and broadleaf weeds coming up here in the rows, and the cultivator will come through here and clean that off the corn so it's not lost in the weeds like it is right now and competing for that moisture and nutrients. As the tractor and cultivator head back across the field, we can look at this weedy section that it just went through. It plowed up all the grass and weeds. They'll perish now on the surface of the soil. There's still a little bit of grass right up on the corn, but as the corn grows taller, it'll canopy out and knock it out. When a tractor is row crop cultivating, it does have to navigate the headlands, which is the boundary planted around the field. Those rows are planted at a different direction than it follows for the majority of the field. And we'll take a look at the impact that that turnaround has on the corn. Here we can see where the tractor crosses the headland. You lose about 1 row of corn in the track, but this wouldn't be any different than running a sprayer. And it's really a minimal impact on a large field like this to lose just a couple plants on the turns. I'm up in the cab of the John Deere 8RX 340, and we can see it working its way across the rows here. And right here is a good example of why the farm is cultivating. We can see pressure from weeds starting to fill out in the rows, and they could really reduce the yield of the corn. So the tractor is able to run through the rows here with the cultivator, and it cleans out the grass and the weeds down there. So you can see the cab of the 8RX has great visibility of the field, which is especially helpful when you have a 60-foot toolbar back there to keep an eye on. And it has a 2-stage mirror, so the operator can see the track down there going through the row, as well as the cultivated path behind the tractor. Running at just over 5 miles per hour. The tractor is using John Deere Firestar auto steer, which is very helpful when you're in a more delicate situation here. You don't want to run those corn rows over, so having precise accuracy is important. So having the GPS auto steer must make this a little less tedious task. It's a big responsibility to cultivate 60 feet wide and make sure you're not knocking out any rows.
Oh yeah, it certainly is a big help. I mean, that way you don't have to look in front. GPS does that for you. You know, just keep looking out the back window and make sure you're not running over anything. That gives you more time and to look back. I mean, in the split second you look up front and look back there again and just yank the wheel a little bit, taking out 24 rows for 15 feet before you know it, right? That way, yeah, GPS just makes it a lot easier on the operator.
We don't want any steel blight out there.
Yeah, that is correct.
It's definitely an effective way to take care of the weeds in organic farming. And how many times will you cultivate this corn?
We will go over it. For the most part, it's going to be 2 to 3, sometimes maybe 4 times, depending on how much it rains, obviously, how fast the corn grows, and how the weed pressure is looking.
So right now you're just making your first pass of the season. The corn's just come up and really starting to break out and grow.
Yes, so this is the first time cultivating. We have gone over it with the rotary hoe and the tine weeders, but this is the first time cultivating, that's correct.
So definitely a lot to keep up with. Weeds are trying to grow every day.
Oh yeah, so this is definitely the stage where you win or lose the battle to the weeds.
Now, looking over here on your screen, it actually looks like the rows are built right in. You're not just painting a map on there. It shows each row. Is that from the corn planter that maps it out for you? Or?
Yeah, that's right. So we run a globe on the corn planter, and that's called AutoPath. It records everything and then sends it up to the cloud, and the cloud takes it back down to each individual tractor. So later on, when we cultivate or do whatever row crop related, we have the map in there drawn exactly as the planter went.
Oh, that's really impressive. I'm sure it's handy to make it all work just a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's right. So we do end rows and everything with auto steer. That way you're not sitting in there searching for the right line in which planter did it. It's already recorded in there.
That's great. And I noticed, like, when I got in the tractor, you're actually able to run backwards as well, using the GPS to stay in the rows to get into the tight corners and keep everything square.
Yeah, so that's a big help as well. It seems like if you have to do it by hand, backing up into a corner, it's even easier to run over corn. That way you're just line up and hit the auto steer button and it does it for you.
Well, we're coming up here on the headland, and this is the point where a little bit of corn gets run over, but you stay on the same path, so you just kind of have a tram line throughout the season.
Yep,
we
just follow the planter tracks each time we turn. That way we minimize our run over corn. Yep.
So now the tractor will come to a stop and raise the cultivator. And we can see the tracks there fitting right between the rows. And we're right back at 5 miles per hour running between the rows. And what size belts are on the tractor to fit between the 30-inch rows?
Those are 18-inch that we run on now.
And have you liked the 8RX for this job? It's a pretty good tractor.
Oh yeah, I would say this is probably the best tractor out there for this job. Comparing to the T-Track, this one is a lot more stable going down the road for steering and everything. And compared to like a wheel tractor, we only have 2 rows that get compacted instead of 4 rows on each pass.
And then it handles the weight pretty well. Again, we can see that 3-point hitch out the back here holding the toolbar. And
yeah, I would say this is the right size tractor for this job. It's pretty good. It fits together good.
Well, I appreciate the information. It's a great ride along and a neat operation to see.
Thank you.
The tractor working in this video is part of John Deere's 8RX series of 4-tracked fixed frame tractors that include 4 different models ranging from 310 up to 410 engine horsepower. They were introduced in October of 2019 and remain a current product in 2024. The 8RX 340 is powered by a 9-liter, 549 cubic inch John Deere turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. Rated at 340 engine horsepower, it offers 284 PTO horsepower and can achieve up to 374 maximum horsepower when the tractor encounters tough field conditions. It's fitted with a 240-gallon diesel fuel tank and a 9.8-gallon diesel emission fluid tank for clean engine solutions. Customers can order this tractor with 2 different transmissions. It comes standard from the factory with John Deere's E23 full power shift transmission with 23 forward and 11 reverse speeds, allowing the tractor to travel from 1.4 up to 31 miles per hour. The second transmission is an option that costs an additional $7,699. It's John Deere's Auto Power Infinite Variable Transmission, which allows the tractor to travel at infinite speeds from 0 to 31 miles per hour. 8RX 4-track tractors come standard from the factory with a track spacing of 120 inches, which is excellent for planting and cultivating 30-inch spaced rows. They can also be ordered with a spacing of 76, 80, and 88 inches. The machines can be ordered with a variety of belts. A 24-inch belt is standard from the factory. A specialty 16.5-inch belt can be ordered, and that reduces the price of the tractor by $3,210. The 18-inch belt that is being used on the 8RX 340 in this video reduces the cost of the machine by $2,953. A 30-inch belt can be ordered, which increases the price of the machine by $9,370. When the 8RX 340 rolls off the assembly line, it weighs in at 41,600 pounds, and it can be field weighted up to 53,000 pounds. According to JohnDeere.com, the base list price for this tractor for model year 2024 is $706,408. The wheeled version with tires of the 8RX 340 is the 8R 340. It has slightly different specifications than its tracked version. It has a 192-gallon diesel fuel tank. It rolls off the assembly line weighing in at 27,800 pounds and can be field weighted up to 44,100 pounds. All the other specifications remain the same. According to JohnDeere.com, the base list price for an 8R 340 tractor for model year 2024 is $566,717. I hope that you've enjoyed spending some time out in the field with this John Deere 8RX 340 tractor and 856 Row Crop Cultivator. If you would like to learn more about the farm that this presentation was filmed at, you can follow them on Fairs Farming Organic on YouTube and Instagram. I'll put a link to their channel in the description area of this video so that you can follow their full farming season from tillage to planting to cultivating and harvesting. I would like to hear in the comments section if you still row crop cultivate on your farm. Tell me about the tractor that you're running and the size of the row crop cultivator. Or tell me about great memories you have of this job from past years. If you have appreciated this presentation, I hope that you'll consider subscribing to Big Tractor Power YouTube, where there's over 2,000 videos of farm machines in action. As always, thank you for watching.